Welcome to Our Voices. Wake up, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I am Tangela Murph-Bailey, and I would like to introduce to some and reacquaint others to my co-host, Mr. John Bailey, who is sitting to my right, the end, at the very end. Mr. John Bailey will be my co-host today. I would like to tell you a little bit about John. Some of you may already know who have previously listened to the show. Mr. Bailey was recently released from serving a 28 and a half years in federal prison in Hazleton, West Virginia. Some of you may have heard the story, and some of you may not have. John is going to tell us a little bit about his stay there, and a part of our conversation, or a part of it, I'll say, we're going to focus on criminal justice reform, sentencing reform, and prison reform. And we will let you know why all those things are very important as we gradually put the story together. I would like to know, Mr. Bailey, John, what kind of change would you like to see in the criminal justice system, or rather the prison system? And what are some of the things that you experience that you feel need to be reformed?
Well, there are so many things that need to be changed and need to be reformed. Number one of the things is the length of time that they are given to people, based upon mandatory minimums and just the sentences themselves. One thing that should be looked upon is the fact that some of these charges are nonviolent, and those in particular should definitely be looked upon and just changed. Whereas it shouldn't be such a harsh sentence.
Okay. Can you tell us, how did you end up in federal prison?
Well, ended up in federal prison pretty much like everybody else, by breaking the law. Okay.
And what law did you break, John?
That law that I broke was a violation of the substance abuse law. I was charged with a conspiracy, and because of that, I was sentenced to life in prison.
To life in prison. Okay. So that was your sentence, life in prison.
Yes, it was.
Now, what do you think about that sentence, since that's one of the subjects we're talking about, sentencing reform?
Well, of course, I don't think anybody should be given a life sentence for a drug offense. You got people that kill people, what I'm saying? And
Murder, yes.
Yeah, they receive far less time. And to sentence somebody for life in prison for drugs, I think that's really too harsh and is overreaching. But one of the things I think that led to that was the fact that some of the people that were committing these crimes, they were doing a lot of violence along with it. And people in the community, they pretty much got tired of, seeing all this violence that was, being instituted, based upon the fact that these were drug crimes. These were people who were selling drugs that were committing these crimes. And you had where some people in the neighborhoods were, they were doing shootings and stuff like that, and killing little young kids, killing grandparents who might be sitting on the porch or something like that. And I think the community just got to a point where they just was tired of it. And because of that, the politicians, they came along and decided to say, okay, well, we'll solve that problem for you. And in doing so, they came up with these harsh sentencing laws. At the time, it seemed as though maybe this was the solution. But in them doing so, they found out that it wasn't the solution, because what they did was they filled the prisons with young, especially young people, and mostly African Americans, and just basically took their life away from us. And some of these sentences were mandatory sentences, and they didn't give a young person a chance, even that life. They just basically took their life away from them. So I think these laws, that are drawn up by these politicians, they're not thought out, and in not thinking them out, I'm saying, we got ourselves into the situation where we are right now. The prisons are full of young people, and mostly African Americans. And these are guys that are in there who are lost, and they have no way out because by these sentences being mandatory, that means that you have to do true time. And you could go in there with a 30-year sentence or something like that, and that means you got to do 27 years, and it's no parole, and it's just really no education if in the system or anything. So you throw away a person like that, and they're basically dead on arrival because they have nothing to look forward to.
Because there's no form of rehabilitation, or is it anything that will reform the individual? Is it anything that they can learn? I mean, do they offer classes that will teach you the do's and don'ts of society, or the do's and don'ts of, to allow you to look back on the mistakes you've made and allow you to learn and move forward from that? Now, I do know I received a letter, or you received a letter from some of your former inmates that were expressing, well, first of all, they wanted you. They said, John, let them know what is going on in here. Let them know, man, what is going on in here. Let them know. So you're kind of like an advocate for them, and you're speaking on their behalf. And I know some of the frustration there is they were concerned because they're not able to vote. However, they are part of the census, but they're not able to vote. They're not able to seek higher education. One of the gentlemen's very smart young man, writes very well, and he wanted to take some college courses because other than that, he felt he was just there rotting his life away. And like you said, once they enter, they're just like throwing their life away. There's no reforming of them. There's no teaching them better. There are no classes. There's nothing for them to learn from. So what do you do there? I mean, how do you spend your time?
Well, number one, the way you do your time, I always say, do your time and don't let your time do you. And in saying that, I mean that you got to go in the system, what I'm saying, with a way, a program, in terms of how am I gonna do my time. What I'm saying? It's a whole lot of ways you could do your time inside that prison. You could do it in a positive way, or you could do it in a negative way. You have to, number one, you have to go in there, with the mindset that, hey, am I gonna come in here a certain kind of person and leave out of here a certain kind of person, or am I gonna make a change? And until you decide to make that change, if you don't, unless you make it up in your mind, say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm through with this, putting it behind me, and you'll figure out a way, okay, to better yourself while you're inside. So, and in doing so, and a lot of, it used to be, whereas you could have participated in college courses and a number of, other courses, like trades and stuff like that inside. But now, they used to have what they call a Pell Grant, and they took away that Pell Grant. And that Pell Grant had something to do with education, whereas you could have gone to college, and earned a college degree. But that's over with now, and so now, unless you decide to do something upon yourself, take a correspondence course or something and pay for it yourself, I say then you're pretty much stuck education-wise. So you have to come up with a way to say, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna leave out of here a better person. Other than that, you're gonna leave out the same way you came in, the person that you were, the person that got convicted, and sentenced to the time that you got.
Okay, back up a little bit. Let's talk about the sentencing. I think I heard you say at one time several life sentences that you were given. I mean, how is that possible when we only have one life to live? It's not like we have 9 lives. When they give you 2 and 3 life sentences, that just makes absolutely no sense at all to me.
Right. Well, I guess they may figure out some kind of way that maybe you're gonna die and be born again, and you could do the other one that they gave you. You know what I'm saying? So evidently, because if they give you, I mean, 2 or 3 life sentences, you can only do one, just like I say. But they might think you're gonna die and be born again, and they say do this other one. You see?
Because isn't that what you
Right.
shared with us a previous show?
Well, pretty much. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's kind of ridiculous because they give a person, 100 years, 150 years. Come on, I mean, uh, you're not gonna live that long unless you Methuselah or somebody, what have you. But you can only do so much time. But it's that's wherein the politicians, I think they just go overboard with these laws that they are making. You know what I'm saying? They sit up in there and they'll make them, and then they don't think them out. And then in the process of them not doing so, then this is where we find ourselves today.
Okay, John, how have you, since you left federal prison in July, how have things gone for you in terms of entering back into society and making that transition? After you answer that question, we are going to take a break. And on the other side, we're going to come back. And I have 2 special guests here with me this afternoon. And we will introduce them, Reverend Diane Hunt and Mr. Pepe Silva. Now, John, can you answer that question, please?
Well, I couldn't have had a better and more smoother transition because of my family. And my family has been with me throughout my whole incarceration, And
Family
upon
support.
upon the release of when I was released, they were there even more so for me. I've been blessed to have a family as good as I am, and they have done everything within their power, you know what I'm saying, to make my transition a smooth one, and it has been just that. So, I've had the opportunity to just kick back and to just enjoy them, and to just enjoy the fresh air and just the environment of being home. I haven't seen a lot of my friends because for right now, I just want to be involved with my family, and eventually, those friends of who are still here, a lot of them have passed on. I will get the chance to see them, and just continue to enjoy this smooth transition, for which I'm going through right now.
I know family support is a lot. It means a lot when you're trying to transition. And John says he hasn't seen a lot of people, but I can tell you one thing, he's talked to a lot of people. John knows everybody around the world. John has so many friends. He is held in high esteem. It's like people just run. They heard. It's like the word is out because John is out, and everybody wants to see John. Everybody wants to talk to John, and it's kind of like John's had to curtail that. It's almost like he's had to put himself on a schedule because everybody wants to see him and everybody wants to talk to him. And, he's got to take it easy. You don't just rush out into things like that because you don't want to get involved with certain people. You don't want them back into your life. So John has many, many people. His phone rings all the time. People sending their well wishes, family coming. He's had family to visit since he's been out. Oh my, he has just been well received. Well received. So we are going to talk to 2 special people on the other side once we take a commercial break. And they will tell us their role in transitioning and helping prisoners and other people transition back into society.
Thanksgiving is a time of year that we reflect on all the things for which we are grateful. The freedom of this great country in which we live, friendship and family. This is Clinton Parrish from the Law Office of Clinton Parrish, wishing you and your family all of the best. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
In Touch Radio, the most loved station across the nation. In Touch Radio. Tell a friend. In Touch Radio.
Thank you so much. We are back. I'm Tangela Murph-Bailey, our voices, and John Bailey, my co-host.
Okay.
We have two special guests here with us today that have a ministry called Refined Branches. Think about that. Refined branches. Not withered branches, but refined branches. And that is an organization that my two guests are co-founders of. I'd like to start by introducing Mrs. Reverend Diana Hunt. She retired from Pinellas County Property Appraisers in April of 2015, where she served there for 38 years. She is the founder of Positive Motivation by the Grace of God Ministry. She and her co-founder are in the process. They have a future transitional center for ex-offenders in Manatee County, and that is Refined Branches. Her vision after retirement was to get the transitional center started, which would provide education, employment, life skills, family connection, and spiritual guidance for ex-offenders. Her compassion for the people is to give them another chance of life, another chance at life, really. You know, men stumble and fall, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not faint. They will not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. And that is a scripture taken from Isaiah. And that is what they are doing, renewing their minds. They are renewing their strength. And they are here today to talk about that. This is their call, and this is what they do. They visit the different prisons. I want to tell you about the co-founder, Mr. Pepe Silva. He volunteers on the prison ministry team at Bayside Community Church. While serving at the church, they provide church services at Hardy County Jail. And he started listening to inmates' testimonies, which led him to learn and understand some of the challenges that they were facing once they were released. Through these experiences, he developed a passion for helping ex-offenders become successful in the outside world and to help them positively transform their lives to keep them from being part of the recidivism issue. This is how the concept for refined branches began in 2018. Since then, Pepe has been speaking with local businesses, local community members about the issues inmates confront upon release. At the same time, he has continued to develop partnerships with local companies to provide career opportunities. He and his team are currently working on establishing a temporary community home for the ex-offenders. Right now, John and I would like to welcome Reverend Diana Hunt and Mr. Pepe Silva. Okay, at this time, I would like for you all to tell us a little bit about what you're doing and your passion for what you're doing and what it takes to do this. We'll start with Reverend Diana Hunt.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Diana Hunt, and I've been doing the prison ministry since 1990. Noticing the revolving door gave me a compassion to, when I retired, to open up a transitional center, still doing programs behind the walls, and just to give me urgent to continue to help them, because the help is needed when they come out. Not they're okay when they're in, because they do have programs in there. Some prisons do have programs, because I'm involved with the programs in there. I sponsor a lot of programs, but when they come out, they still like kind of somewhat institutionalized, and they don't know which way to go. So now we have a program that we have that we are serving them with a 2-year program that we will house them, that we will place them on jobs, and vocational school will give training to them. We have partnered up with some of the people over in Manatee County, and also we will have life skills, and we are faith-based ministry, so we do have biblical foundation for them also. And we are reaching out to the males because they are our kings, so we need to get them back in place where God wanted them to be.
Okay. Mr. Pepe Silva, can you tell us a little bit about your passion and how you two got together to do this together as co-partners?
Yes, thank you for having us. I truly appreciate it. And so my name is Pepe Silva, and yeah, my passion grew as I was in the prisons, and I started talking to a lot of the guys in there and ministering to them and working with them and listening to their stories, and some of the stuff that they were sharing with me was something that was just mind-boggling to me, knowing that, you know, half of these guys are afraid to come out because they don't know what's going to happen when they come out. They've been incarcerated for so long, they come out and they're worried about what they're going to do, and if they're going to get their families. Some of the families have turned their backs on them. So this was very disturbing to me. My passion grew more and more and more, and that's when I decided that instead of sitting there and allowing this to just go on, I had to do something about it. So with that, that's where we started the Refined Branches, and I was fortunate and blessed to meet Reverend Hunt, who has been someone who's inspired me even more. So with that, we met and we decided that, you know, this was all God's plan. It wasn't ours, because we didn't know each other at all. And it was funny how it worked when we kind of looked at each other's visions and missions and what have you. They were almost identical word for word. And that's when we knew that God had placed her and I was placed in her life. So with that, we decided to merge and actually put all our programs together. We both had great ideas, ideas that actually work. We do have people under our programs right now, and they're doing very, very well. And we're so excited. We're proud of these guys. They're going to be amazing when they come back out, when they're completely out on their own. So with that said, that's where my passion came in.
Wow. Okay. All right. So your transitional housing program How many will be able to live there, or how will you? What is the selection process? How do you choose your people?
Well, since we were inside. Okay. Since we are already doing sponsors behind the wall at Hardy Correctional Institute, and also Avon Park have a pilot program get ready to take off also. So we profile them. So we do have a relationship with the fellas before they come out. So we know where they're at. And also in Manatee, we're talking to the captain to build a relationship with those who are in the county jail. Because we want to get to know our people, profile them as they come out, because some want help and some people don't want help. So we are housing 14 people with a 2-year program, and also working along with them once they get out.
Now, can you tell me, Mr. Silva, a little bit about the 2-year program? What takes place within the 2 years?
Sure. So the most important thing is that we get them, we get these guys to understand that they're loved. A lot of these guys don't even know they're loved when they're inside, because everybody's turned their backs on them. So the first thing is that they're not only loved by us, but they're loved by the Lord. So we make sure that, they understand that, they're there and we want to change their lives, but God has control of their lives, and they need to understand that. And they, so that's part of it, ministry and getting into Bible studies and what have you. The other part of it is mental health, which is extremely important right now, because a lot of these guys come out, they're stressed, they don't know how to handle coming out to society. This is very difficult for them. It's hard for a lot of us that are listening today that have never been incarcerated, don't understand that. But once you're there, I'm telling you, it's extremely important. So mental health, trauma. So these are courses that they got to go through. Also, we have counseling for them for anything that they need, which Refined Branches takes care of for them. So it's not an expense to them. It comes out of us. So we also, another thing that's extremely important is that when they get out, the hardest thing that they have, their biggest challenge is finding work, okay? So we made a decision, Reverend Hunt and I have made a decision that we're not going to find these guys just jobs, because anybody can find a job, all right? We want to find them careers, okay?
Right.
There's a huge difference between having a job and a career. So a lot of us are very fortunate and blessed to have careers, right? But these guys, not too many companies want to give them a career, right? So what we do is when they come out of prison, we call them patrons. Okay, that's how we look at them. They're patrons. And so what we do is we partnered up with a lot of successful companies in the surrounding areas, and they interview them, and I hold the employer accountable as well. So the employer, we look at them as champions. Okay, that's what we call them. And the champions, basically, it's not about giving them a job. They got to be able to offer them full benefits, maybe a retirement plan, a 401k, and they not only just give them a job and keep them at a job, the same job for the next 10 years or 20 years, whatever it may be, but they got to grow with the company. They have to give them positions to grow. So we give them the opportunity to either train them themselves, or if they don't have the ability to, we will put them through trade school and help them get that certificate, if you will. So with that said, that's some of the programs that we have in place, and we're growing, and it's just going to get better.
Wow, you put them through school?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, okay. So did you say the capacity was 14?
Yes.
You can get about 14 people in your particular location?
Yes.
The transitional location?
Yes.
Okay, now is it, I'm sure it's not unisex, is it?
No. No, absolutely not. These are all men.
All men. What do you
All
do
men.
about the ladies?
Well, down the road, we got to start somewhere.
You're right.
So
Correct.
just
correct.
giving us opportunities to prove to everybody that we're here for them and we're here for the community. We're here to. We want to. This is our passion. So it's easier because I've been in the men's prisons, so it was easier for me to just
Right. I
go that way
understand.
there. So, and no, please don't take no offense, ladies. We love you too. So,
Just wait in a few minutes. It's up and coming.
yes.
Okay.
So,
I would like to say, you know, one of the things that me speaking on behalf of an ex-offender, you know, when upon release is a stigma that follows you and that you kind of carry because you just feel like everybody is looking down on you. So, and I'm sure, you know, that a lot of the guys, like you say, that are incarcerated, they are afraid to come out here. And because one of the things they're afraid of, because they don't have nothing to come back to. And because of people like you, you know, I'm sure that they feel a lot better, you know. And just like with me, you know, it's like I stayed in a place for years. You know, I did 28 and a half years. And I didn't even want to be around my family. I didn't want my family on my business list because I didn't want them to see me in the situation I was in. So a lot of these guys are bringing that out with them. The fact that they've let their families down. So, you know, and in doing so, you know, it's the transition. It's going to be a lot harder.
yes.
And that is so true. Family support is so much. And I just happen to be privileged to witness the family support for John. I happen to be married and blessed to be married to John's brother, Bobby. And he is such a dear husband. And I watched him and his brother, Milton. They prayed 1 o'clock in the morning. They would be in there praying for John. And the other brothers and sisters, I mean, they all got together where they were involved with the attorneys. They were involved. Everybody put their money together. I mean, they wrote letters. I mean, I have never seen such a supportive family before in all of my life. John, everybody does not have what you have.
I know.
On the other side, we're going to take a break right now. But before we do that, I'd like for them to give us their information, contact information, so how our listening audience can reach them. And then we'll go on a break, and then we're going to open the phone lines up for you all to call in and let us know what you are thankful for this Thanksgiving.
Okay, so our email address is refinedbranches20@gmail.com. Our website right now is set up as www.pmgginc.com. Again, www.pmgginc.com.
Okay. We're going to take a commercial break, and then we'll be back, and you can give us a call, phone lines, and let us know what you are thankful for this Thanksgiving.
You're listening to Tampa Bay Tammy
Your girlfriend.
on In Touch Radio.
In Touch Radio. It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil. $15 is the best I can do. You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here-for-you.
Welcome back again to Our Voices. Wake up, everybody. I am your host, Tangela Murph-Bailey, and here with me today is my co-host, Mr. John Bailey. And as we said prior to the break, we have Mr. Pepe Silva and Reverend Diane Hunt. They want to just leave you with a little bit of information before we open the phone lines for you to give us a call. And the number for you to give us a call to tell us what you're thankful for this Thanksgiving is 813-444-9588. That number again is 813-444-9588. 813-444-9588. Mr. Silva will give us a phone number or some information he wants to give us.
Yeah, so we're going to give you a number that you can reach us and contact us through, and that number is area code 727-742-5828. Once again, 727-742-5828. Thank you so much, and hope to hear from everyone, and thank you again.
And the female transitional housing is on the way. They can only do one thing at a time, so believe me, ladies, they will get to the transitional housing for the females. Up and coming. Okay, we want to open the phone lines. Do we have any callers out there that'd like to let us know what they're thankful for or would like to say hello or say something to John? Okay. We'll give you the number once again, 813-444-9588. I do understand last time some of you all tried to call. We had about 6 callers that tried and weren't able to get through the line. So we want to encourage you to do so at this time. 813-444-9588. 8. Give us a call. Say hello to John or what you think about our show and what you are thankful for this Thanksgiving. Or you may have a question for Reverend Hunt or Mr. Silva. Anyone out there? Any takers? Come on now. I know. We had a lot of callers last time. Where are you? 813-444. Hello? Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, I have a question for John. So I was just wondering, so this problem that you were talking about in the prison system where they're not able to take classes anymore. So you were saying that this is nationwide? Because I did not know that.
No, I wouldn't say it's nationwide. It's in the federal system that they eliminated the Pell Grant, what they call the Pell Grant. As far as in the state system, I'm not sure because you're dealing with two different systems. So, but in the federal system, they eliminated the Pell Grant, which allowed the inmates to go to college, take college courses.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for answering that. I feel a lot better.
Thank you for
Thank
calling.
you so much for your question. Anyone else? The lines are open. 813-444-9588. You can direct your questions to anyone here today. Let us know what you're thankful for this Thanksgiving. Or you may have a message for John or Diana or Pepe. 813-444-9588. While we're waiting on their phone lines, how long did it take for you all to put this package together for your transitional? Because this is a lot. It sounds like you've got to go out into the community. You have to talk to people in the different prospective workplaces. You mentioned helping them with education. I'm sure your ministry needs donations as well, right, to make that happen.
Well, we've been working on it since 2012, and it's in God's timing. So God just started opening doors for us with the justice system down in Manatee County. They're willing to give us support for what we need. The vocational school is giving us support. That's who will be paying for the transition. I mean, not the transition, but for the education for is trades. That's what I was trying to say, trades. So whatever trade they take up, that is on the vocational. And then we have churches that are involved that donates to us also. And then the community, we need all the help we can for operation because it is an expense because we're going to lease a building and it's going to cost us to do a lot of operation expense with that.
Now, do you have to have someone there with the inmates at all times, like someone, a resident or someone that lives there? Or do you all spend a lot of time there providing guidance, or do you just let them do their thing because they're placed in a trustworthy position?
Yes, so I'm glad. That's a great question, by the way. And yes, in the facility, we will have a mentor who actually oversees the facility itself and make sure that these guys are getting what they need, making sure they're showing up to their classes and going to their, counseling and what have you. And then we're going to have a gentleman by the name of Antonio Love, who's actually going to be our, if you will, general manager that oversees the entire property and oversees everything that has to do with operations and everything else. So he's been in prison ministry for quite a few years now, and he has been a great partner with us, and he's we're so happy to have him. We're blessed and fortunate to have him on board. And again, he is he's like our right arms, if you will. So yes, so good question. So yes, mentors inside overlooking the facility itself, and then we also have Antonio Love there as well, overlooking the entire.
Good, wonderful,
yes.
Wonderful. Okay. So they're just not just thrown in there and left to try to figure it out themselves. Yes, Mrs. Hunt.
And we also have rules and regulation, accountability, because we know the habits they're coming out of. They're transitioning into something new, so they are trained to do what they need to do with accountability. And then we do have the 3 strikes you out rule. We do. So they have to do and take on responsibility as we're trying to train them to do as men. Kingdom building.
Okay. Yes. Now, Mr. Silva, I heard you say something about mental health issues. Now, that is something that we will be addressing later on one of our shows, because there are people incarcerated and in prison that have mental health issues. And some of those people have served their country and are incarcerated. And I really don't think that is the place for them. So we will have people in prospective places in congressional leadership some of our congressional leaders and attorneys will be coming on the show later. We're going to break that thing down and break it apart and try and figure out. It's got to be something has to happen. There has to be some kind of profound change because they're in the wrong place. If they have a mental issue, I do understand that they are placed in a different section of the prison system, but I don't think they should be there at all because if their mind is not properly engaged, then of course they're not going to be making the right decisions. So in your transitional facility, will there be mental health counselors there, or how are you going to, do they come in every so often, or they come in as needed, or how does that work?
Well, when they first arrive, they're going to be going through counseling immediately because it's important for us to understand where they're at mentally. So, and based on that, the counselor will tell us, how often she feels that, this person needs to be counseled. It could be once a week, it could be twice a week, it could be however many times she decides, and that's what we're going to go by because that's what she majors in. I'm not a counselor, I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that. So her guidance is going to be the utmost important thing. And yes, we want to make sure that these guys are getting what they need to help them as they transition. And again, it's a 2-year program. It takes time. People think that you're going to be okay in 30 days, 90 days. It just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. And we want to make sure that when they get done with this program, they will go out into society and be part of this society just like myself or anyone else out there, that we go to work, we're honest people, we do what we serve the Lord, and we do what we have to do. And that's what their life is going to be, and that's what we want to hope for everybody there. And I know God's going to place them in our path. So, yes, to answer your question.
Excuse me. I would like to ask you, you say it's a 2-year program. Is that toward the end of their sentence that you accept them in the program?
Actually, we, being that we're in the prison system,
right.
We go out there and we're with them. We already know who's going to fit the program, basically. So, Mrs. Hunt has been out in Hardy County for 30-something years, and she knows a lot of the people out there. Everybody knows her, so a lot more than they know me. So, no pun intended. But anyways, so we started inside, and then as they're coming out, close to when they start coming out, we already know what date they're coming out. So we're going to be there to pick them up. We don't wait for them to show up at our facility. Okay, that's not the way it works.
That's good. That's good.
As you can see in our flyer here, we actually go out to the prison system. We actually pick them up. I put them in my car, physically put them in my car, and I take them down there. So this is the way it works.
It's pretty much similar to a work release system.
Yes and no. We like to be known more of a transitional home.
I see.
We don't like to be called a halfway house or anything like that because that's not what this is. This facility is absolutely a beautiful facility. We're going to hold them accountable to keep it that way because, this is large investment. So, and this is for the community. This is they got to take pride in what they're moving into. Okay, so. Yeah, it's a great program. It's an amazing program, and we're looking forward to grow it every day. And with the help of everyone out here, with your donations and what have you, it's going to just get us that much closer to add another facility.
But I think I understand what John was asking. Avon Park is going to start a new program called the Pilot Program, which is life skill. So they start the life skill in there and then transitional out to a house that will pick up the life skill. So to complete their sentences out there. So that's the question you're asking us. Exactly. So it's in the making, but it has not taken place yet.
All right.
Want to give you the number once again. The phone lines are open, 813-444-9588. If you have a question or a comment, give us a call. I'd like to share with you, if you all would like this brochure that I'm holding up, this is about refined branches. And they will be more than glad to mail this to you. Inside, they talk about their mission statement, their vision, the geographical areas of focus, Manatee County, Sarasota County, Hardy County, Highlands, and Pinellas County. The different services that you have heard them speak about. Everything is here, and a lot of information here. Okay, we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller, you're on the line.
Yes, I just want to say I'm enjoying the show, and it's good to know that if the convicts are not getting programs to prepare them for release on the inside, at least they're going to be able to get it outside from the particular people that you have on the program. So that's very awesome.
Thank you.
So thank you guys for being available for people.
I'll let them address that.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you so much for calling.
That's a compliment.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you for calling. We appreciate that. We appreciate your calling in. Anyone else out there have a comment? Thanks to Mrs. Hunt and Mr. Silva. If you all have any closing remarks, Mr. Bailey, if you have anything, the first thing before you all talk, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and my business. This program is being sponsored to you through the courtesy of Reader's Choice Book and Gift Store, promoting literacy one book at a time. We sell African American attire, African American art, shea butter, 100% African shea butter, 100% raw soap, church supplies, clergy wear, children books, inspirational books, motivational books, Bibles, Bible covers, everything. I even do free tutoring. So whatever your needs are, if I don't have it, I'll get it for you. Our contact information is 727-409-4310. That's 727-409-4310 or 727-415-3459. 727-415-3459. And I want to personally thank Cheryl Cousseau. Cheryl was the host of the show that you just heard prior to our show. We did our soft launch with Cheryl, and she was so gracious to help us through. Once again, I'm Tangela Murph-Bailey, and I'm going to turn the show over for last words, Mr. John Bailey, Mrs. Diana Hunt, and Mr. Pepe Silva.
Well, I'd like to thank our guests for being here with us and sharing such beautiful information, because I could understand, from a different standpoint, someone who has been incarcerated and went through the transitional stage, and how important it is, what I'm saying, for us to have a facility such as what you have. So thank you for what you're doing, and we appreciate it.
I just want to thank Tangela for inviting me on as a guest, and I do need the support from the community. You can do a donor for weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. And our website is right now pmgginc.com. Thank you, and thank you for the comments, all the comments.
Yes, I also want to thank everyone here for inviting us, and I'm humbled by the fact that you invited us here and allowed us to share our vision and mission with everyone here. And this has been amazing for us. And again, thank you, and hope to hear from everyone. And you got our email address and our contact number, and looking forward to hear from everyone. Thank you again. God bless all.
And we will give you one opportunity again. If we have any callers out there that'd like to call in, 813-444-9588. If you want to speak to John, if you want to speak to Sister Hunt, or Pepe Silva, or if you have any questions for the show. I personally would like to thank the guests for joining us today, and we look forward to your return visit because we will be calling on you all again. I thank you, and I ask that you would join us again next Wednesday, same time, 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., same time, same place, In Touch News. Owner Daryl Johnson. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson, for your kindness and your loyalty to the community. Thank you very much. Have a good day and have a wonderful, blessed Thanksgiving. And it's been an immeasurable pleasure to be with you here this evening. I'm Tangela Murph-Bailey. Good day.